Okay. Live, folks.
Okay, I'd like to convene the safety plan hearing for the Lake Placid Central School District. So our safety plan is reviewed annually. First by our safety team, which is composed of district personnel and law enforcement representatives. And that meeting took place in June. And subsequent to the review of that plan, a 30-day notice period was put in place for any comments or referencing our safety plan. Karen, do you know were any comments received during that time period?
There were none received.
Okay, so we did not receive any comments. For the past 2 years, we have been working closely with Altera Security, which is an outfit that specializes in school security. They have a broad base of personnel and retired law enforcement members that are adept in this particular area. So they assisted us in reviewing our plan. And while our plan just discusses the general ways that our district ensures security and safety protocols, we do also have 2 building plans that are confidential that we utilize that are more in depth with specific scenario planning in the event of any number of scenarios that come up. But in terms of the district plan, which is being reviewed this evening, our plan has some additions from the previous year. There's an attachment for the board to see if they'd like to. But fundamentally, those changes are that last year, the addition of AED devices was put in across the state, and training requirements for staff and for students as young as kindergarten were put in place. And so now that has been annualized in our plan. So we identify the locations of our AED devices, and we attest to providing that training to our staff and students. In addition to that, there are also protocols that we included for after-school activities in this rendition of the plan as opposed to last year's. So all of our different sections of our plan at the end, there are annexes that describe particular scenarios and times of day that we'll be ready for. So our after-school annex was added, and this just gave additional, I guess you could say, contact information and protocols. If there's something happening, somebody's renting one of our facilities, or the Youth Athletic Association has an event, or the after-school program does after 3:30, what are our protocols? And so our contact person and protocols are in there now as a result. There was also additional language added, which address the maximum temperatures in school requirements. So that last year there was initially it was scoped to be a requirement across the board that there would have to be provisions in place in the event that the temperature exceeded 88 degrees in the buildings. And NYSED has walked that back, and now it is recommended that districts have policy to mitigate heat in classrooms, but it is not a requirement under the law that certain actions take place if it does. Those are all things that happen anyway. Thankfully for us, the elementary school is air conditioned, with the exception of really just the cafeteria. I think it might be our only blind spot in the elementary school. And then middle high school is not, and so we pay particular attention to that on the 3rd floor. So barring those exceptions, our plan was reviewed without any concern or comment from law enforcement in the June meeting. And at this time, if there are any questions from the board or any provided via email, then I'm happy to address those.
There are no emails.
You guys as a district have come worlds since my first time here on the district, and I really appreciate the time, data, and you guys have put into it and making it a safe place for our kids. So, this is well beyond my expectations. I really appreciate it. Thank you. From a security-minded person, I really appreciate it. So it's growing exponentially every year, and I love it. So.
Thanks, Ryan. That's good to hear, and we all want that assurance for our kids, so it's great. So if there are no further comments and no questions from the public, then I will close this hearing. and pivot to the second scheduled hearing, which is in reference to our repair reserve usage. So our repair reserve was set up 2 years ago. It's one of the reserves that was order approved. And at that time, $1 million was placed into it. And over the course of the school year, we worked closely with our facilities department to identify projects that were worthy of repair over the summer. And the attached list encompasses all of those projects. So anytime our repair reserve is going to be utilized, then just like our safety hearing, there's a 30-day comment period where people can submit comments, and they can also come to the meeting if they have any questions, thoughts, ideas, concerns. Did we receive any comments, Karen?
No.
Okay.
Why are the election machines our responsibility?
It's a good question. I mean, I know we preside over the elections as all school districts do, right?
So what happened was when they made the primaries in June, that it didn't give them enough time to switch us over for them to do their June primary. So after that, they gave us their old machines, which we can no longer use.
Isn't it town, state, election doesn't?
That would be one of the reasons, it's a school election versus a local, political election, national, it seems that we would have to have separate. Sense to me.
Right, we
These
don't
are
have
the
access
elections- This is the election just for this board.
for the
For the
budget.
school budget?
This.
And
Oh, okay,
yeah,
so
Yeah, yeah.
all in-house things.
Yes.
Yeah, just for our budget every May. Yeah, where we don't have access to the county machines any longer.
Oh, okay.
We were given, 4 years ago?
Simple,
Left,
simple, thank you.
left old machines. They're now since they're outdated, no longer can be updated.
I was thinking
Yeah.
that we were talking about the machines for the greater world.
No, they'll be our machine.
Just ours. Yeah, only we will use them.
Is the total cost, are you guys, I think this is the one that was in the same thing as the last board meeting, and there's a bunch of approximately whatever. Are you guys still, so this is an approximate total cost, but then you're going out to get quotes for an exact amount?
Correct. Yes, working through it. So where we need to get 3 quotes, we're getting that. Where we can do something for state contract pricing, we go that route as well. So really the ones that we're waiting really more on quotes is the Univents. We got 1 quote and it's a struggle to get. We have other vendors. It's just getting them to actually quote it. One of the, where is it? The repairing the leak in the second floor bathroom, approximately 25,000. We end up having to do an asbestos test, twofold. We had to do a triannual. So we did that, and that specific bathroom wasn't tested initially. So we had to spend $857 for them to test just that one spot where the leak is. Came back negative, so we're good to go. So that price will be much lower because that is not part of it. The original price was them doing it over Memorial Weekend, time and a half, all of that to get it done quickly.
Gotcha.
So we might even be able to do a lot of it in-house.
Okay.
And when it comes to the actual plumbing piece of it, we could probably go with something local because it really is just, like a sewer pipe that has to get replaced.
I think our parking lot quotes they're pretty close to where.
They're pretty close. Yeah. And the gate itself came in a little higher than 120,000. That was approximate based off of when we first quoted it 5 years ago. I think it came in about 136. That's state contract pricing through Lindstar. So we don't have to bid that out. And plus, there aren't many vendors that do it all encompassing. The company that we are looking at is Chimera. They do it all. They'll do the infrastructure, the islands, the concrete. They'll lay the conduit for the electrical. We'll reach out to the village to hook it up. Hook it up to the pole in the back of the parking lot. The paving, we went out and got 3 quotes for that as well. All local vendors.
Perfect.
We have a meeting on Thursday
Yeah.
with Florida personnel, and we're just going to walk the perimeter and also make sure that the lighting in both areas is sufficient. And we find it's lacking, then
Right, I think, well, the island itself, yeah, the gate, it's, where the gate will be, there will be an additional light there, we'll add an additional camera as well. Change out the one camera we have in the back, kind of give it a better view.
When you look at this list too, these are all things that are preventative maintenance for one, which is amazing. Updates, and then the parking lot has been the need of Jesus for a long, long time. So, we're being fiscally responsible when it comes to this stuff, and I like that we're making updates and better for the staff and the kids.
You get lost in the ravine on the backside. You're coming around, this is like, here you go.
You have the cameras already?
in the lot. in the
Oh, we
parking lot.
have a camera, we do have a camera already in the lot, yes.
But the ones that you're gonna replace?
We are looking to, because right now there is a 4 lens and we're going to go with a better 3 lens plus, that way we can actually read cars, license plates as they come and go, all that. So yes, that's all through Linkstar. Yes.
Are there any questions about the use of the reserve or any of the projects? Okay, then I will close the repair reserve hearing and turn it over to the district clerk for the start of our organizational meeting.
You would all please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible. Okay, first on order is we're going to do the oath of office for the newly elected board members. So if I can have Bob, Doug, and Ryan please stand. I did that. If you'll raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Ryan Salos,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York.
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties as
I will faithfully discharge the duties as
general board member
general board member
of the Board of Education
for education
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. 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 Okay, next up is our election for the board president. Could I please have a nomination for board president?
I nominate Colleen Locke for board president.
I'll second that.
Right.
It's a very big privilege. that
Do you-
I'm willing to do again. I'm still waiting for my little placard outside that says I get to pull in here and avoid like someone directing me up to the back parking lot at various events.
Special
It hasn't
parking.
happened yet. I did pull into Tim's.
It's good.
I just pull in.
You accept the nomination?
Certainly.
Okay. Gonna have you all vote in 2 seconds. All right, please vote.
Oh, do I care?
No. So you're gonna abstain. Bob, did yours mark?
Yeah, here we go. I'm not really figuring out, I'm figuring out slowly this year. There it is.
Did yours fill out, Bob?
No.
Okay, can you vote manually by saying yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. So that is 6 yes and 1 abstention by Colleen.
The server is then lost, please log back in.
Please stand. I state your name.
I, Colleen Locke,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
Oh,
of the State of
sure.
New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
my duties as president
my duties as president
of the Board of Education
of the Board of Education
according to the best of my.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Karen.
And you can have the mallet at home. You are now in charge. Colleen, you're in charge now. Oh. No. So you're gonna ask for nomination.
Okay, a motion to nominate whomever as vice president of the board. May I have a motion, please?
I'll motion to nominate Ryan St. Louis.
I'll second.
Thank you.
And if so, please vote.
Yeah, it is.
That's just the weight of
That's,
responsibility.
I was thinking.
That's right.
It hits you.
Feeling it on you.
You beat me to it.
They're here.
Colleen, if you turn that on, you can't, you won't open here.
Yeah.
Okay, if everyone will vote.
I abstain.
That's 6 yes and 1 abstention by Ryan. Hey, you get to get sworn at one more time. Raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Ryan St. Louis,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the
of
Constitution
the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties as
and I will faithfully discharge the duties as
Vice President
Vice President
of the Board of
of
Education,
the Board of Education.
according to the best of my ability.
For the best.
Congratulations.
Ryan.
Thank you.
Righty, the fun continues. Our first bit of the cause, is there anything, Karen?
Check real quick, there is not.
There is nothing under information for the public. Consent agenda, recommended action, approve the following items which are included in the consent agenda. 9A, Board of Education meeting dates, 26, 27. 9B, appointment of district officers. 9C, appointment of the following other positions. 9D, bonding of personnel. 9E, designations. 9F, authorizations. 10A, minutes 6/16/2026. 12A, ROC board resolution for 26-27. 12B, employee cell phone approval. 12C, legal counsel agreement. 12D, legal counsel agreement. 12E, sports mergers. 12G, BOCES cooperative purchasing participation. 12H, BOCES 26-27 transportation contract. 12K, CEWW resolution for ESY. 12N, door hardening resolution. And lastly, 12O, board member conference approval. May I have a motion, please?
Make a motion to approve the whole meeting.
Not that.
Sure.
It's most of it.
No, that's most of it.
Second.
I'll second.
No consent.
Back in the day,
Back in the day, yeah.
3 hours.
Yep, no consent.
Okay, oh, sorry. Everybody vote.
Oh, please vote.
Sorry, Colleen.
Did you get early policy 6255?
Oh my God.
In your nightmares.
That's 7 yes.
I'm gonna start donating just.
I'm like on seat that it's not good. Anyway, I want to back up for a moment because I would like to formally welcome Mr. Bob DeMarco to our board. And I would also like to welcome back Mr. Ryan and Mr. Doug to our Board of Education. I'm very glad to have all of you on board. It's it. Budget status report. That's you, Dana.
Yeah. So I provided you guys 3 documents. General fund balance, results of operations, schedule of fund balance, and if you see, all 3 are unaudited. So basically, this is just kind of a look right now before we go through the formal process of our auditors reviewing everything. So when you look at it, the first one, the general fund, fund balance. Sure, one is the right one. You'll see what we started the year in terms of our unassigned fund balance, what our revenue was as of June 30th, what our expenses were as of June 30th. And you'll see that we have $172,000 in encumbrances. Basically, it's earmarked. We just haven't expensed it yet. It will be expensed as everything comes in, to wrap up the year. So when you see this, our total expenditure and revenue showing a deficit of $620,000, 130. That's indicating that is not including what we appropriated from the fund balance to balance it. We started the year, we appropriated $1.2 million. This is not even using that. I can tell you right now, since I put this together, we have $128,000 coming in that just came in from BOCES aid. We still have outstanding state aid that's coming in. That's why I call this unaudited. So the 620 will actually reduce it's probably more in that $400,000 to $500,000 range. So, the second document I just showed you is basically the results of operations. It's everything kind of what I just outlined, indicating at this moment in time a deficit of 620. That tells me that if it's edited right now, we'd only have to use half of what we allocated from our fund balance of $1.2 million. It's going to be more like maybe $400,000 to $500,000. So for me, that's a win. That's a huge win. And it's a combination. You'll see that our expenses did not hit what we budgeted at the 23-1. We had a little more revenue in other areas, but it didn't hit the 23-1. It rarely does all that. But when it comes right down to it, is using $400,000 out of 1.2. That's a good year for us. So the third document basically just kind of shows you, highlights where our reserves are. Our restricted reserves, whether it's the EBLAR, tax surgery, TRS, repair reserve. So that shows you that in addition to the $5 million unassigned fund balance, we have about $3.4 million in reserves. The repair reserve is in there, the capital reserve. We will be spending $567,000 sometime this month to purchase our 3 buses out of the capital reserve. The repair reserve will go down about $700,000. And then, the question comes, do we want to replenish those 2 out of our unassigned fund balance to bring it back up to $1 million for each of those for future uses? Do we leave it? And then knowing that in the future, we will probably have to tap a little more into our fund balance to balance things out. Currently our new budget, this current budget, now that we're in 26, we've allocated a little over $2 million of the fund balance. So hopefully this coming year will play out the way this past year was, where we're not going to have to use all of it. We can use a half of it, or even a third of it. Again, that's a great win. That just helps us push out the inevitable at some point with our revenue only being able to go up 3%. The expenses are trending at 6 to 7%. So questions on this?
Does Ironman pay anything to the school?
Absolutely. We get 11,000 to 13,000 for them to use.
And then they repair it to whatever it was before, or is that on us?
That's part of the language, yes. We've been fortunate last couple of years, where just water was able to get it back. So every year is different depending on leading into it. It's been a little drier right now, a little warmer. You'll notice the grass out there is a little more brown than it would be. But yes, that is in the contract where they are
How long is
responsible.
the contract for, as long as they're having it?
This next year, the last.
Next year's last year, I think next year is it. I think they had a 3-year
3-year
contract. Yeah, they
extension.
kind of, mirrored it between, the town and the village and the school. Really, it's kind of what Ironman, what the town decides. If they
Right.
agree to extend it, then they ask us. You know, we've had a pretty good relationship with Ironman in that regard. Last year, they started using our little space on the horse show grounds for camping. So they set up for volunteers where they can come and camp. We open up our concession stand, there's a bathroom facility, there's showers in there. Last year, they gave us another $1,000 for them to just camp out there. Seemed to work out well.
Who sets the price on that? Like $11,000 is not a lot of money for the use of her. Set up for negotiation.
Well, every year, anytime, a contract, we always, I mean, in reality, we're really getting $11,000 for them to use the oval. And that's the only, they use our parking lot that has no real wear and tear. They pay extra for the horse show ground, so they pay an additional $1,000.
I just, from somebody who's lived here and seen it, like, they're making a lot of money.
They absolutely.
$11,000 is not a lot of money. That's just my opinion on it. That might be something.
We do typically have, if you look at it, we do have a fee rate for our usage for people that use it per day. So if we went with that, I think out of area for profit, the oval is 500 a day. That's what we follow. So if we
So you're saying it's a little better. getting
So if we,
11K.
right, so if we're looking at the 10 days that they have it, that's really just $5,000 per our actual fee schedule.
What does it cost to repair it after they've come and gone?
The last 2 years, it's just been water. We haven't had to do much in terms of just putting water on the grass.
So you're saying if we wanted to get more money next contract, have to be a new fee schedule?
Well, we ultimately decide what the rate is.
Right, usually it goes up a little bit
Yes.
each year.
I think next year it goes up $1,000. Yeah, so every year it goes up $1,000 per contract. Yes. But I agree with you, Stephanie. Yes, they absolutely are. But at the same time, we have to look at how we treat everyone in terms of when we write up contracts. Summit Lacrosse or PLL Lacrosse, it's the same way. They pay us right now, this coming year, they're paying us $120 per game for the use of the field. We get from them through that, about $15,000. They have more wear and tear on the
Good
horse,
thing,
yes, than what Ironman.
So that's school land, okay?
The horse show grounds is, well, it's technically owned by the town and there's an agreement.
We have a lease, we have a lease of use with the town.
Yes.
And
So that's where it's like, yes.
all the fields.
Town technically owns it, but we manage it because of the lease.
Does the lease include the jump track or the flow tractor building? And then the dog park?
No, that's all town.
That'll be town
Proper.
dump or whatever town land.
Yeah. But certainly, with regards to Ironman, it displaces staff. It's highly distracting. So I think everything's negotiable. And so next year when the contract comes up, it's the point of having chips if you can't put it on tables.
$20 grand.
Be that as it may.
They do also pay extra for all the people that are working iron, our security people, on like the day of.
All week, we have 2 people that man the parking lots. They pay for,
Well, I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, you guys could say no. We could say no tomorrow. Where would they go? Instead, chips.
Hey, so now we're talking.
Questions on Dana's budget report? If not, Mr. Seymour, your superintendent report, please.
All right, so we do have a lot of summer programming going on. I won't go through my report verbatim, but we have our extended school year programming for our students who are identified. We have our summer school at the elementary school and middle high school. We're gearing up for our community schools camps. You can see in the report there that We anticipate having around 80 to 90 students involved in those camps, which is great. So that's the week of August. Usually we try and bridge the gap between Camp Placid ending and the start of school. Unfortunately, Camp Placid ended a week early this year, and so there's a 2-week gap. And it's a challenge to propagate programming for 2 weeks. We can usually ask our staff for one, but pre-Labor Day, teachers are in go mode pretty much. So anyways, but our robotics camp, sports camps, STEM camp, and kindergarten camp are all near capacity. Just hoping for our kindergarten camp to see some more enrollees. I think we're going to make some efforts with regards to that. But in terms of the day-to-day, what you probably would see here when it's not Ironman time is a slew of kids that are in Camp Placid. So this is our second year in a row since bygone times when Camp Placid was here regularly, that Camp Placid is being hosted here. We provide meals for those students. So there's 141 total in the program, distinct students, but on average, there's about 110. So we're providing food to 110 local kids during the summer at no cost to them, which is a great program. In addition to Camp Placid, we also provide transportation, of course, to the many events that Camp Placid does. And over the past 2 years, they've really enhanced their programming, going to the rail trail, Pendragon, movie theater in Plattsburgh, any number of things, which is great. The Sinfionetta is here. So they're utilizing the auditorium exclusively this season. That's just one of the ways that we're helping the Art Center while they're undergoing the renovations. And then Farmers Market, Red Hat Soccer, Ironman, Premier Lacrosse, all using our spaces pretty regularly. So definitely some activity here. And I applaud our facilities team for their flexibility and the degree of maintenance they keep things in consideration of all that activity. At the end of the year, we had our advanced placement exams for our juniors and seniors. So we had 47 students take 7 distinct AP courses, and our results were really good. So you can see in depth if you're interested. There is an attachment there, AP exam results, but I just gave you some highlights. Basically, AP exams are scored from 0 to 5, and anything that's a 3 or above, you get credit for it for colleges. So of the 7 classes that we had, 5 of those achieved 100% qualifying rate. So everyone in the class got credit, which is very good. We had a few classes, calculus and drawing, where the numbers, I think, were small, might have been 1 or 2 in those classes, but nonetheless, they scored perfect 5s, which is great. And then, our AP Lang was really good with a near 91% qualifying rate. So we performed at a level that's really exceptional. So I'm very pleased to see that and to know that our kids are walking out of here with credit, and reducing the amount that they have to spend when they go to college, for those who are college bound. Our regents, so we also had our regents exams over the end of the school year in June. So 9 regents exams were given. 7 of those 9 exams, our performances was very high compared to the statewide norms. I think maybe one of our biggest bright spots was biology. Biology, we saw, a 58% statewide average, and Lake Placid had an 85% pass rate. We've always done exceedingly well in science as a school district. And so beating the state by that percentage was very good. Every regents administration, it seems there's some degree of controversy about which exam is fair or not. You may have seen things in the Eclipse emails that come to you from board NISBA about some of the hubbub in Long Island dealing with the Earth and Space Science exam. I think there were also concerns about, I can't remember if it was global, but definitely Earth and Space. So that's a newer exam. Science came out with a new framework, which each year they've rolled a new exam into it. And the complaints have been that at times the questions haven't mirrored the content for students. And so people have cried foul with regards to that. But nonetheless, you can see if you go to in my report, the following page, all of our pass rates by percent. So algebra 77%, biology 85%, global 83%, earth science. That's the new exams. That's 56%. That was our low spot. Geometry, 66. That's 6 percentage points above the state, so we still like to see that higher. And then you look at ELA, English language, 93%, which is doing very well when we're getting those kinds of results. So how do we use this information? First of all, like it can just be a canary in a coal mine if we see something that's rather apparent as a problem. When we compare our performance year over year and there's a discrepancy in how kids have done that's dramatic, then we look at that. We also look at it regionally and statewide. So when we meet again in August, I should have a comparative analysis to look at how we have done historically. And that should give us some insight into, what's the progression academically of our district. If you recall from budget season, I was talking quite a bit about how we've absolutely grown in the K through 6 testing realm. Our students have performed really at a fantastic pace over the past couple of years, so that's great. We just want to make sure that if there's any discrepancies or growth areas that we identify those. Our department leaders in these core subject matters, they all have access to a platform that's called Tableau. And Tableau basically is a repository of all the questions asked for the regents, and it analyzes the ones the kids missed. It analyzes the type of questions they are. Is it multiple choice? Is it structured response? They analyze the content and it finds trends for the teacher. So the teacher can say, okay, as a district, we did really well with vocabulary. We did really poorly with short structured responses. And then as a team, when they do their annual goals, they factor that in and try and make improvements. So that's sort of how our progressive improvement cycle is designed to operate. We don't just use the regions, we triangulate our data. So that's why we have an NWEA test. We also have the classroom instruction to kind of guide those things. We're in summer professional development season right now. Anyone in education is probably familiar at this point with what's called New York Inspires, which is the new vision for students graduating from the New York State education. And the touchstone of that is the portrait of a graduate. If you just look down on my report, I did just include the graphic that has been circulating for the better part of a year now. This circle here, and it just shows all the different competencies that they want students to have upon graduation, that they're creative innovators, critical thinkers, effective communicators, global citizens, future focused, and academically prepared. The good news for us is that our strategic plan, which we have 2 more years under, just aligns completely with all of this. So the things that we've been pushing towards, student well-being, academic excellence, innovation, they easily fall within this framework. But the big sort of wait and see moment is, okay, what does this actually mean for school districts? And I think every district is trying to find the opportunity to find meaning in this now before something more prescriptive comes out from the state. So our approach is that if the state is going to be very clear about what an education should look like for a graduate, well, a graduate is only going to be as successful as the teachers that guide them. And so our focus this summer is to try and internally create a portrait of an educator. So we're actually going to be looking at, in these different competencies, what are the patterns and behaviors and practices of the best teachers that promote this sort of growth in these different competencies. And then how can we promote those amongst our staff? So the good news is, once again, we have a really great team of educators. So a lot of this will just be identifying the things that people already do. But I think codifying this in advance of what the state comes out with will be beneficial. We're kind of laying a foundation of, if we trust that, our educators are the foundation of the success for our students, then let's identify that which makes our educators special. And that's sort of the intent of our practice. So I'm excited to do that. To help guide some of that work, we've invited Dave Melnick back to the district. He came in March and was very impactful. He has a wide background in sociology and in social work and psychology and education in particular. And so just identifying the practices that we want to see for our educators. So I'm excited to have something impactful. Like right now, what the state is putting forth is a vision. And we want to work towards a vision, but we also have to have concrete details. But we are also inviting Dr. Catania to our building meetings for the start of the year to discuss more broadly the vision. we're fortunate that we have a regent and a former superintendent of this district who had a hand in the actual formation of this. So I would anticipate you'll hear a lot about Portrait of a Graduate, and we'll be presenting some of the information that we're creating in the service of this.
Is this at all similar to what we did years ago, which was portfolio based? Okay,
It is.
so here's the pendulum again. So if anybody has read their recent Board of Education little newsletter, Governor Hochul, as we all knew she would, she has gotten wind that there are 20 states that are pulling back on screen time. And now she's mulling over pulling it totally from K through 2. What is interesting is the New York State United Teachers Union want paper and pencil back. And you have New York State Ed that is still pushing through 3 through 8, on digital. And I think I shared this before, but Tim has lobbied along with Roger Catania in Albany to try to return our testing to paper and pencil testing, which would then again seem to complement much better the Portrait of a Graduate than putting them on one-to-one devices.
And perhaps even no tests for students.
Yeah,
if
that's
it's
what I'm
not prudent.
thinking.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. So I didn't think it would take long for Governor Hochul.
No.
I mean, we fortunately were on the forefront of the cell phone use, and we had already implemented that before it became a rule. But I do think that there's something coming from her office about this. So I'm excited because again, I think it's much more supportive of Portrait of a Graduate.
Yeah, I think the creativity is pretty endless with regards to this vision, and our district's so unique, as we all know, not just in the connections that we have and our Olympic legacy and all of that, but just the practicalities of our district being walkable to innumerable businesses. There's so much you can do with that in terms of workforce learning, which will make learning more relevant to kids.
And we're
I'm
very-
excited about it.
Yeah, for sure. And we're very fortunate to have Roger.
Absolutely.
He knows us. So here you've got a local guy, Saranac Lake Lake Placid, who's here forever and really can advocate for us. So I think it's awesome.
And then just the other piece of my report, there's plenty there, but it's been 2 weeks since we've had Cameron Shigalinsky in this role as community schools coordinator, and I met with her yesterday and she just knocked my socks off with everything she's planning. If you look at some of the new things she's doing, it's really cool. Even little things like we haven't really had an elementary play date before for new families, so we're like,
That's nice.
we're gonna have some structured play on weekends for kids. We've never provided haircuts to students in need. We're gonna be doing that
That's
in advance
nice.
of picture day. Ryan, this will tug at your heartstrings, first responder touch a truck.
Yes.
What kid doesn't love that?
That's amazing.
That's right. I know you will.
We approve it good night.
Yeah. Halloween, she'll have the floats going again, and she's gonna find a way for the community to vote on it, which is cool. So, lots of hearts and minds things, but I think Cam's a great addition, and she's going to do us proud as a district.
So Tim, in response to what I brought up at the last meeting about doing something like, it's here, college boot camp.
Yeah.
How can we incorporate actually having our students sit down and go through an interview process? If you're doing resumes and whatever, but I still think that one-to-one, sitting down with someone, learning how to shake a hand, have eye contact, answer questions is really important. And I'm wondering if she might be able to incorporate that. Maybe it's too much for the boot camp in September, but at some point over the year for our juniors and seniors to have that exposure to that.
Yeah, I think the first step for me is just ensuring that it isn't already happening to some degree in the building. And if it is, identifying how widespread. And if it's not, then I think we can look to some of our resources already. The Capstone project, we have a block of time for our seniors on a daily basis where we could incorporate a whole ton of this stuff. So
Yeah, it would be great because I think maybe Christopher's mentioned it before. I've seen it in my own industry. People coming in for an interview and they have no clue.
yeah, absolutely.
Even like seasoned adults.
So we'll keep pushing on, and I'm happy to look into and identify what are we doing in that vein to prepare kids for the workforce. As the board formulates its goals, having increased or sustained work-based learning and preparation for the workforce. That's the sort of meaty goal that the administrative team could really get behind. So there's plenty in that if you find that to be a valuable direction.
Just have a question on the AP. Are those done in-house or are they like an online program?
Yeah, no, they're done in-house. Yeah, well, they're both. They're administered in-house, but it's an online, the test itself is online.
Right, I'm just saying like the course, just for like the
Oh, they're
smaller
taught-
number of classes.
Yeah, they're taught in-house. Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes we've had, like, because we put the pinch on some of our sections to make sure that everyone's, utilized as efficiently as possible. And we build the master schedule first, and then if there's any capacity left, then we'll try and incorporate.
Okay.
Because I even put thresholds in place for a number.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, usually it was like, we'd initially want to have 8 signed up for a class. And then if it filtered down below 5, then we would cancel the class unless there was capacity in the schedule. Yeah. So we had to set all those ceilings.
Okay, if there are no other questions, thank you, Tim. Moving on for information on the board, there's a variety of things under the public content. There's a summer law conference. There's a big convention in October. It both, I believe, comes in a digital form. I will say that these are often very interesting, and even the law conference, things change each year. So if you do have time in your day to be able to watch the various videos, I think sometimes too, you can even access later. But I have certainly found them to be really beneficial. So please look at those opportunities, and then there's a variety of things under executive content for you to look over. The next item is policy review. I'm not sure what we're doing.
I can speak to that, sure.
Okay.
So these are policies that need to be reviewed and approved by the board on an annual basis as part of our organizational meetings. So there are code of conduct, our investments policy, our purchasing policy, our attendance, and our free and reduced meal price policies. So if you have not already had an opportunity to click on the blue links and peruse those, then just as part of your duty as a board member, just make sure that you do that. And in doing so, we will be compliant with our annual obligations. That's it.
Okay. Under action items, all of them, A through F, are under consent, as well as the minutes of the Board of Education. Moving on to personnel. Recommended action, approve the following items, which are included in the consent agenda. 11B, teaching assistant resignation. 11C, teaching assistant appointment. 11D, teaching staff resignation. And 11E, coaching staff appointment, fall 2026. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion. Second.
Any discussion?
Just want to thank Alexis Magliori for her good service to the district as a teaching assistant these last several years. I'm excited for her and her new PE teacher role in Bocat Valley, and I'm happy to see Sam Hayes return to the district. Also served us well in her time here, so just appreciative of all that.
How disruptive is the tech?
So until the schedule's built, it's disruptive. There's no denying that. We've found a way to cover gaps when they've, I don't want to say this is a cursed position. This is a position that's had some, okay. Need to bury whatever saying in the yard that sells the house. Find that one for this. So we're hopeful. We do have some applicants that have already put in. So I think we're not in the lurch per se. It's just, we had a really good plan in place, and then, summer days built in, and it just didn't hold the way we had wanted it to. So it's definitely disruptive. But in the scale of disruptions in my career as a superintendent in another district, I will tell you that this does not necessarily rate. I've dealt with more disruptions at once, multiple simultaneous departures. So we'll take the lesser challenge when it comes to this. I think we'll be in good shape.
We're moving into additional.
They have to finish voting. No. 7 yes.
There's a few here that are not. First is special education, recommended action, be it resolved, the Board of Education of the Lake Placid Central School District.
That's under consent.
It is.
We have to go to I. Sorry.
Recommended action upon recommendation of the superintendent approve the attached emergency response plans for the district. Elementary school and middle and high school for the 26-27 school year. May I have a motion, please? Motion.
Second.
Any further discussion? If not, please vote. There are also some items under executive content in this category.
7 yes.
Next item is emergency response plan approval, recommended action. You want me to read the whole thing, Tim?
The repair.
You said that.
Did we just do I?
We did it.
Are we on
Yeah,
to J now?
We're on to J.
We're on
I think
J.
you can just do J. I see resolution below. Right?
Yeah, you don't need to read it, Colleen, just,
Okay.
resolution as attached, or as,
Okay, resolution is attached, motion. We do it normal.
yeah, do we have a motion to
A motion to approve,
approve the use of the repair fund
yes.
as indicated?
Yes, we'll make that.
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
Who was the first? Stephanie, Don, and then Steph.
That one's J, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vote.
Please vote.
Seven yes.
For donation sectors, recommended action, whereas the Lake Placid Central School Board of Education Policy 6255, donations, gifts, and grants to the district allows for the superintendent of schools to accept on behalf of the board gifts, donations, and grants having a value of less than $1,500, whereas monies have been granted as follows. Adirondack Community Foundation grant from Ed Op Fund to the Lake Placid Central School District in the total amount of $2,533.69 for the support of community school spring break camp. Now therefore be it resolved in accordance with policy 6255, the Board of Education hereby accepts a check from the Adirondack Community Foundation awarded from the Ed Op Fund for the Lake Placid Central School District in the amount of $2,533.69 for the community schools spring break. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
That's good.
I would see on scoreboard, Chris.
Any discussion? Please vote.
Seven yes.
Last item, recommended action, whereas the Lake Placid School Board of Education Policy 6255, donation, gifts, and grants to the district allows for the superintendent of schools to accept on behalf of the board gifts, donations, and grants having a value of less than $1,500. Whereas monies have been granted as follows. Lake Placid Marathon in the amount of $3,650 for the support of class of 27, class of 29, National Honor Society, and robotics. Now therefore be it resolved in accordance with policy 6255, Board of Education hereby accepts the check from the Lake Placid Marathon in the amount of $3,650 for the support of class of 27 and also the class of 29, National Honor Society, and robotics. May I have a motion, please? Motion.
Second.
Any other discussion? If not, please vote.
Bob, did yours not pop up?
Not yet, no.
Do you want to just say?
Yes.
Yes. 7 yes.
Second good of the cause, Karen, is there anything?
There is not.
Moving to our discussion phase, committee appointments.
So there is an attachment there for the regular board members, that meet. So those include the policy committee, the audit committee, which, is comprised of, from the board president and vice president. Health and safety for buildings and grounds. And then we also have ad hoc shared decision, making committees as need be. So the primary ones that, we, utilize with regularity is our health and safety for buildings and grounds. So in the previous year, Ryan, Doug, and Chris have served on that committee. The policy committee, I know Don was on it. This was the easiest year in the history of the policy committee.
I didn't know I was, I mean, I know I was on it, but I've been there for meetings.
Yeah, no, in full disclosure, we've got some policy updates that, we'll move towards in the coming year, but,
Put me in coach.
all right, you're ready to play. Okay. Are there any other board members that are interested in, either switching, removing themselves, or adding themselves to a particular committee? Just noting, of course, that we can have no more than 3 in a given committee. So there is opportunities. Anyone who's interested in policy, that's the heartbeat of the district. When I have to move on something, policy is the guide with which I try and do that. We need not answer now. We could certainly look at next meeting. If not, Don has things well in hand. And Chris, Ryan, and Doug, are you in a good spot in health and buildings and grounds?
Yeah, there
Okay. And just as an additional note, we also have negotiating committees that aren't on the sheet, but whenever we have a large contract coming up, we always seek board representation. So we do have our teacher's contract up this year at the end of the year. So if there are any board members that would be interested in participating in the negotiations process, that would be very helpful to me. You need not answer now unless that interests you out of the gate, and you can. Otherwise, we'll kick this to the next meeting and let everyone mull a little bit if that works.
I would be interested in that. I just need to know like the schedule.
Totally. Absolutely.
Raise your hand.
And Tim, what was this one specifically for?
So this is negotiations. So this would be the teacher's contract.
Okay, I would be interested in that one as well.
Great.
Do we get to provide input or are we there just to listen?
Oh, no, you get to provide input. Yeah. So the way it works is Dana and I and either Douglas, depending if he's needed, but then the board representatives, we meet in advance. We formulate our proposals. We look at regional comps. And then we sit down at the table and exchange proposals and go from there. That's helpful. All right, thank you.
Our next item for discussion is a review of our board goals and objectives and the timeline for next year. I don't know if everyone has had a chance to look to see, all of the areas that we kind of hit this year, but I think we hit most of them at each meeting. I don't know if there's anything else there that we're missing, Tim, but
Board things.
We got a good year.
and then our last item is our board self-evaluation. Another fun thing that we participated in. If people have access to the overall results, again, I think almost all areas, we were only one deviation away from anything, with the exception. It did seem that board members brought up asking about a retreat that seemed to pop up a few times, and also receiving more data on our students. That was also brought up. Does anybody else have anything that you can recall that kind of stuck out to you that you felt was important?
I think we're a very diverse board, making a lot of good decisions. I think that we just need to keep doing what we're doing and keep trucking along and making sure we're doing the best for the district and the kids. We do that. We do seem to have a grasp on a lot.
I think the board retreat sounds wonderful in the initial phases. I've been to several of them in our district. I think for me anyway, the most beneficial one we had was with Douglas Gerhardt, who actually talked with us and presented. The worst one I had been to was, I don't remember what we paid, $2,000-3,000 for someone to come up from Albany and to give basically a screen presentation of PowerPoint. There was no interaction between any board members. It was absolutely dreadful to sit there for 2 or 3 hours and I'm a fast reader, so I'm like, okay, turn the screen, on to the next one. And I didn't get anything out of it, and I felt really awful, having spent that money on that type of a board retreat. So my only recommendation is that we pick something that, if we want to, that is unique to us, that we will benefit from, that maybe there's something in our little group that would be a benefit to us. And we have someone that would come here and it would be something interactive and that we would learn from it. So that's my experience.
Last one we did that. I still volunteer to drive a little white bus around town.
Parade or something.
Yeah.
It could be anything. It could be
Doesn't
simply
need to
like,
be fancy.
I got a
learning
projector
about,
on my new pontoon. We can do a thing out there. Just
it
saying.
could be something just learning about our schools.
Sure.
You know,
Yes,
how many of us, when was the last time we wandered through the elementary or the high school and saw the classrooms and all of that? And I don't know. I
And
think-
we could hold some meetings in either building too and incorporate a tour. I think we did that maybe 2 years ago. So we're probably due for
Yeah,
another.
I just think that, you know, we sit in here, but we don't really get out and really kind of see what's going on. But if we have a retreat, I think it should be inexpensive and worthwhile and interactive, where we actually gain something from it. So, any other thoughts on our board review?
So I would mention that with the way we converted the self-evaluation to the end of the year, that if you look under the executive content, it will help you, Colleen, to guide you into like creating goals
Okay.
for next year. And the program does it,
Right.
as opposed to,
Well, typically you send that to us, don't you, Karen? And then we go in and edit and add things.
it's different. If you want to do it this other way, it's through the board self-eval.
Okay.
And then you can go through and it will help you create from the board self-eval into whatever.
So do we all contribute to that?
I don't know if everybody can do that or if it's a board president thing. I have to
Okay.
look at it a little bit more.
You could create the aggregate, Colleen, and then
Okay.
have the board pare it down. And for our next meeting in August, that's usually around the time that I put forth the draft of goal areas for myself, for the board to reflect on and add to or modify. So I know our goals go kind of hand in hand. So I'll have that ready for the August meeting so that it all works out.
So there wasn't too much in there that strayed too far from one way or another. So will I have to just start to come up with some list, or is it okay to only have a few things that we need to, address?
I think it's up to the board how
Less is more.
expansive your goals want to be.
Right.
And maybe I should hear from other board members, what they think.
I just think in my experience, if you have too much, you
Yeah.
don't hit it well, whereas if you can dive into like really like 3 specific things and I think there's more follow through. Sorry.
Yeah.
So the one attachment that says SMART goals.
Right.
Is helpful. I mean, again, I think that you need to like look at it and decide if that's the way you want to go,
Okay.
or if you want to continue going on the
Okay.
with your goals.
I think the measurable piece for me is like, even when I was doing the evaluation, I was confused. I was like, can't get to this and that, blah, blah, blah. It's first rodeo, got it down now. But like the measuring of it, it's very hard to measure these things. And I think that I would like to see more of that in the future. Like how, yes, we're doing this, but let's prove that we're doing it too.
Nothing else under that. Under the adjournment phase, our next meeting date is August 11th. Any old agenda topics? Any new ones? Looking for a motion to adjourn our meeting at 6:05 PM, please.
Aye.
Vote.
Aye.
That was pretty quick for that one.
Are you staying the night?
Only if there's AC in.
Yeah.
Can we turn off the live stream? Can you-